Hi, this is Rick Breur. Thank you for watching this Finsulate cleaning tutorial. As you all know, Finsulate it's an environmental friendly material. It prevents fouling, but it's not an ideal material. In my perspective, it's never going to be possible without chemicals, without biocides to prevent all fouling. So when you use Finsulate, you have to expect that you have to do some cleaning. This tutorial is meant to explain a bit about the cleaning techniques that we use ourselves when we do cleaning for clients. What we do is we use several different types of tools depending on the situation, also depending on the type of material, whether you're using speed grade, C grade or lay grade. And I'll show you the tools, and then later on I'll show you how to use them. So, like I said, 3 tools. The first one, it's a grinding block. This is something you use mainly for the waterline when you have green algae. These blocks, they're quite small, so you can easily go with circular motions. You can go over the waterline. Of course, you have to put some pressure. The stronger the pressure you put, the more of the bases of the green algae you remove. Don't be too afraid, the Finsulate material is quite tough, so it can stand quite some pressure. So don't be afraid to put some pressure on the Finsulate material. Second one, that's the one we use mainly for the big sheets. It's a plaster knife. It's used for plastering work on the walls. It's something we find very practical. If you have something else, of course, it's also fine, but these are quite okay. Important with these sharp knives is that you, before starting to use them, you round the edges, because otherwise the sharp edge could damage the Finsulate. If you round them, there's not much chance of doing any harm. We use these for the big sheets, like I said. Normally I use 20 centimeter blades. It's 7-8 inch wide. The reason for that is that with this width you do have the ability to do speedy cleaning. On the other hand, it's not too wide not to be able to do the curvature of the boat anymore. So 20 centimeters, 7-8 inches, it's a good size. I'll show you later on how that works. In principle, you just press it in the fiber mat and you just push it forward. Then the third material is a Scotch-Brite pad. Actually, for myself, I only use it when cleaning the speed grade material in the seawater. When you use it in sea or oceans. Reason for using this one is that sometimes with tube worms, for example, it's easier to have a bigger coverage of a full area, and then these Scotch-Brite pads, they are quite practical. Again, just like with the grinding block, take a coarse one, grit 80 or something. It's not too strong. The Finsulate can stand it. That's no problem. So for the speed grade, of course, for the speed grade, you can also use the plaster knife. For soft fouling, for example, I would prefer the plaster knife because it goes really much quicker. And then the last one, the grinding block, I use that in general for waterline, whether it's speed grade or C grade or lay grade. So these are the 3 tools that practically you use for cleaning in the water. One important thing when cleaning in the water is that you have to make sure that you're stable in the water. If you just go down with your snorkel, your legs will have the tendency to be lifted up to the waterline. So what you normally do is you put a light weight belt on, not too heavy to make you sink, but enough to make going down easy, and to make sure that your legs they sink a bit further than your body, than your torso. That makes it easier because then in that way you can just go with the materials. You go more like this instead of having to bend downwards too far. So that makes life much easier. I've seen videos of people trying to clean without a weight belt. Well, it can take you 10 hours, where normally you take half an hour or an hour to clean a boat. So that's quite an important aspect of the cleaning.
So here we have the 2 materials. On the left we have the
C grade, and here on the right we have the speed grade. What I'll show is just so you have the grinding block as first for the water line. What you can do is you can I'm pressing so hard it's even moving the table. And you see there's nothing coming off from it, and the same holds for the speed grade. And you can do that 1,000 times. That's what we do as a test before. Nothing comes off. Same with the Scotch Brite. Again, firmly scratch it. And actually this goes easier when you're in the water, because then it's I said it's wet, so it's more it's moving easier. And then finally, and this is maybe the most important to show, the blade. And so what you see is when you push the blade and actually really press it in firmly, and just at an angle, you just go underneath, and when there's any fouling, you just lift it off. Same as for the C grade here, just go over and lift it off, just like that. Press in, and again, going more smoothly in the water, like this. I hope this tutorial has been helpful for you. As said in the beginning, Finsulate, it's a nice material, it does not harm the environment, it does not spread any biocides or paint. It does have some maintenance in the water, which is the downturn, but then again, you don't have to paint anymore for at least 5 years, and you're saving the environment. And that's in the end why we developed this material. We don't want to spread all this paint, all this toxic paint anymore. So thank you for your attention. Happy sailing with Finsulate.